Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Wingin It Waterfowl. I'm your host, Troy Miller. With me, as always, is my co-host, Blake Horton.
How's it going, everyone?
And then today we'll have special guest, Mike Pomaibo.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for having me.
Well, appreciate you being on here today. So this will be episode 7 when this releases. So Mike, kind of tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do. Start out with that.
Yeah. My name is Michael Pomaibo. I'm 30 years old, turned the big 3-0 this year, so that was a little scary. I'm from Pittsburg, Pennsylvania. Definitely not known for its waterfowl hunting. Definitely more of a deer hunting culture around where I live. I've gotten into waterfowl maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, kind of got into it late in the game. But it piqued my interest once. I shot my first wood duck, and then I was like, all right, well, this is what I'm going to do as my hobby and passion probably for the rest of my life. Like, most people, you down one and then that's it. I started deer hunting when I was a kid. Did that all the way, for my whole life, basically. Still deer hunt often. Like I said, got into waterfowl a couple of years ago. Learned very quickly that southwestern Pennsylvania is not, a waterfowl hotspot. I watched a lot of YouTubers from the Midwest and down south and saw them shooting a bunch of piles, and I was like, oh man, that's sweet. And like I said, learned real quick that wasn't really it in Southwest PA. It's definitely a grind, but I've been at it for a while. It's definitely taken over my life. Try to go on as many trips as I can out to the Midwest, up to New York a couple of times a year, stuff like that. And
Yeah,
just
I'm kind of in the same.
enjoying that Pennsylvania grind.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat with you. Where I live at in the Texas Panhandle is not exactly a waterfowl destination. So,
Yeah, I gotta
but
get
I
in the
guess
truck and go.
you started about 2020 area then?
Yep. I started in 2020. I had always kind of been curious about waterfowl hunting. I know that PA has some pretty decent goose hunting. Um,
Mhm.
and actually, I just was on YouTube one day watching deer hunting videos, and I stumbled across a 24/7 hunt video, and the edit was cool. And then I saw everybody; they were just kind of chopping it up in the duck blind. They weren't, you don't have to be quiet all the time. They were having a good time, joking and stuff. And I was like, wait. I was like, so you mean to tell me I don't have to sit in a tree by myself all day, totally silent, and I can go hunt? And
Man, it seems like that's always the draw for people who started out like us deer hunting. It's like, oh, we can talk.
yeah, man, I was like, I don't have to, leave my clothes outside for 3 days and get scent free this and scent free that. And like, if I want to rip open a Pop Tart, I can just do it, man. So I
Yeah.
was like, this is cool. So there's a Cabela's about 45 minutes from me down in West Virginia. I called. I was like, "Do you guys have any duck hunting stuff?" And the guy that answered was like, "Probably somewhere." So I drove down there that night. I bought a dozen Northern Flight mallard decoys. I bought a super cheap pair of neoprene waders, and I was like, "I'm getting all my stuff, and I'm doing this next weekend."
Yeah. So, did you go with someone or did you just kind of go out and try to figure it out on your own the first time?
I was figuring it out on my own. I brought my dad with me. I was like, "Hey, you want to go duck hunting?" And he was like, "No, I've never done that." And he was like 60 years old at the time. He was like, "I'm not standing in the water." And I was like, "Well, I bought you a pair of waders too." I was like, "So you're coming with me?" Um, but it was all trial and error, lots of YouTube. Um, and I'm kind of one of those people. I like to figure it out on my own. I watched a lot of tips and tricks and stuff, but for the first like 3 years hunting, it was just me by myself, or if I drug my old man down there with me. And again, he had no idea what was going on either. So I was just learning all by myself.
So do you, your dad, y'all still duck hunt or y'all still hunt together?
Yeah. My dad actually, he retired last year. So now anytime I say like, "Hey man, you're waking up early, I'll come pick you up." He's like, "All right, sounds good. Just let me know where we're going." He comes with me. He's much less serious about it than I am. But I do make it a point to still get out there with my dad a handful of times every season. We've had like a little tradition now where we go up to the like upstate New York Finger Lakes region um, to do like a guided hunt there. This will be our 3rd year in a row doing that. We just yeah, so I still make it a point to hunt with him often. Um, Sometimes though, like, if we got to drive real far or camp overnight somewhere or something, he's like, I'm out. Don't, wait till we got a
Yeah.
heated pit or something and then call me. But we still try to make it out a couple times a year.
Does he still deer hunt?
Yeah, he's much more serious about deer hunting. Um, he hunts with a crossbow now. Like I said, he's getting a little older. He can't really draw back a bow. But there'll be times where I'll be at work all day and I'll text him. I'll be like, "Hey man, what are you up to today?" And he'll just be like sitting there in a blind with a cup of coffee, deer hunting all the time. He'll still go out squirrel hunting a lot. So he's mostly does that stuff, but he'll still get out there with me sometimes.
So on deer hunting, I think I've heard waterfowl hunting, y'all aren't getting the Sundays this season, but y'all's deer season, are y'all getting the
Correct.
Sundays this year?
We are.
So how
Yep,
is that?
Yep. So
How is that
it
hunting around
is
that?
it is incredibly difficult. Because I couldn't tell you how many times we've been out duck hunting or goose hunting, scouted all week after work because I work Monday to Friday. I don't really have much time to scout during the week. Um, and we'll set up in a spot on Saturday and we'll find an X Saturday while we're hunting. We're like, all right, we're off the X, but guess what? I just drove down the road and I found a couple hundred birds, and then we can't hunt them the next day. So that is incredibly interesting. It makes it difficult. I try to say that like my saving grace is that Saturdays go waterfowl hunting. If it's great, it's great. If it's not, no biggie. And then try to designate Sundays to go deer hunting. So that's kind of been like my split.
Yeah. So before this year, were y'all able to hunt deer on Sundays, or was it just no hunting on Sundays?
There were a couple select deer hunting days for Sundays. So I want to say it was 3. I could be wrong, but I want to say it was 3 to start. They designated 1 or 2 Sundays during archery season, and then our designated 1 Sunday for rifle deer season. But now this year, you can hunt everything on Sundays except for migratory game birds. So no ducks, geese, doves. But now you can deer hunt, squirrel hunt, pheasant hunt on Sundays now. They think that they were saying next year trying to adapt Sundays into like the 60-day, the federally regulated duck days. So trying to do that next season.
Okay. That was going to be my next question was,
sorry.
Since y'all are, no, you're good. Since y'all are Atlantic, are y'all capped at 60?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We're 60 days. We get at least the area that I hunt the most. We have like a 1-week season, early season in the middle of October, and then the zone that I'm in, we have about a month off, and then right around Thanksgiving time, it'll open up again, run through into January.
Okay. See, I'm not used to hunting a split. I don't have a split.
Oh.
Well, technically I have a split. We have a opening weekend for waterfowl. It's usually near the end of October.
Mm-hmm.
It'll open up just for a Saturday, Sunday, and then it's closed for the week. And then the next Saturday it opens, and it's open till the end of January.
Oh, interesting. That's cool.
Yeah. So
See,
we've got
I'm
a
a
lot.
complete opposite. Yeah, I'm a complete opposite. In Louisiana, we have a 2-week split. Right around, I want to say, the 1st of December, something like that. And then we go up into January as well, but we have that 2-week split in there.
Those splits are killer, man. I just start getting in my groove of, getting up early and scouting and whatever. And I mean, those weekends off are definitely nice too, but those splits sometimes they take the wind out of my sails, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I know yesterday when we were texting, you said that you're kind of split because you like to sleep in sometimes. So.
Yep. Yeah, and that's
yeah.
That's with our early goose season starts Labor Day, and then
Mhm.
this year it ended Thursday, and then of course Friday, a field that I have permission on, I found about 250 geese in the field. Um, the
Oh,
day after the season ended.
Uh, so has the Sunday thing, has that always been since you were a kid?
Yep. Yeah. So that Sunday thing ever since I started hunting, doing like mentored hunts when I was like 10, 11 years old, it's always been no hunting on Sundays. And when I was younger, it didn't seem like there was any headway on trying to get lawmakers to change the laws and get the governor to sign off on Sundays. So since I could remember, it's been no Sundays. And then slowly as the years went on, um, the past couple of years they would introduce those like, 3 Sundays a year, whatever it was, and then now like gradually into like full-time hunting on Sundays.
See, that's different.
gotcha.
We've never had that growing up. I mean, I grew up where Troy is right now. I used to live in the Panhandle. We've never had anything with Sunday, so it was nice to be able to, even when we were younger, we go to school all weekend and hunt all weekend. Well,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and I mean, I'm sorry, go ahead.
we used to have some strange rules when I first started hunting. We had like November you could hunt bucks and does, and then come December you could only hunt bucks, kind of deal.
Interesting.
And so it's which I when I very first started hunting, we still lived in Oklahoma, and we only had a was it a 9 day? Is either 9 or 16 day season. That's all we had. And so, I mean, it was like World War III every opening day there in Oklahoma. And then when we moved to Texas, it was like a 2.5 month long season. So, but we've got a pretty liberal season up in the Panhandle for the North Zone. It's I think it's four does and a buck.
Oh wow. Yeah, in Pennsylvania, with your standard license, you get one buck tag, and then you can buy as many doe tags for the wildlife management units as you want. But we only get one buck tag per for our license. So I think there might be something else with landowners or something else, farmers maybe. But I know for me on my standard license, I get one buck a year, and I can get as many doe tags as I want, but I have to buy those all separately.
see, that's different. Like up in Panhandle, where Troy lives right now, and even in Louisiana, we can shoot. In Texas, you can shoot, I think, up to 2 bucks, but they gotta be in different counties.
Three.
Mm.
Three bucks, but they gotta be
Wow.
in different counties. And then at the end of the year, they have extra doe and spike season as well. It's like a 2 week season, Troy. If I'm not mistaken.
I know it's an extra weekend at least. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't ever do the
So,
special doe days.
and then in Louisiana, we can shoot up to 2 bucks down here, and then 4 doe,
Oh wow.
and it's a lot different hunt. I mean, I went from wide open to being in the trees. Probably how y'all are up there. It's a lot different. And they hunt different down there. We use shotguns most of the time. Where up there we were using rifles. And
Mhm.
then I don't know if Pennsylvania is still. I know there's still a couple of states that are allowing it, but I think it's southern states. But we run dogs,
Oh wow.
so we pretty much find out where the deer been. And we got dogs that will chase like smell them out basically, and we got runways. That's what I call them, cut out in the trees, and they just run through there. And we got to shoot them with a shotgun before they go back in the trees. That's crazy.
Oh wow. That sounds wild. Yeah, we can't do that here.
Yeah, it's crazy. I didn't think I was gonna like it at first, but I like it. It's a bunch of rednecks running around, little Ford Rangers and Toyota Tacomas chasing deer around.
That's it, man. I'm Ford Ranger gang over here, so I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
So for deer hunting, do y'all have quite a bit of public land opportunity, or is it mostly private?
So I will say there is a lot of public land for deer hunters, especially in my area. I think um I personally hunt most of my deer on private. A friend of mine, he
Mhm.
owns about 15 acres, um, right in between like two bigger farms. He has like a small patch in the middle, so it's kind of like we call it the highway. Um, so most of my deer hunting takes place on private, but there's a good amount of public land, but sometimes like even on, especially during rifle season, even in the middle of the week, you could pull up at 3 in the morning and there'll be, 5, 10 trucks already. And you're like, oh crap, man. Like, what am I going to do here? So the private or the public, sorry, gets crazy quick. So I try my best to stay on private. Um, but there's a lot of opportunities to hunt. There's a lot of really big national forests and stuff, more towards like the central part of the state where there's tens of thousands of acres where you can go hunt. So there's a lot of land. Um, I try my best to stay away from as many people as possible. Um, I've met a couple crazy guys out there hunting public, so I try my best to stick to private for my deer hunting.
Gotcha. I've never public land deer hunted. Like, getting into waterfowl is the first time I ever messed with public land, really, because I just that was not something I ever wanted to do, and I never needed to, because my family has a ranch. It's my grandparents, but we've got access to it to hunt, and so I had never messed with public land. That was a whole different world getting into waterfowl, being around other people. I'm like, man, if I see anyone, there's a problem on what I'm used to.
Yep.
So
Yeah. So when I had first started deer hunting as a kid, um, a friend of a friend had owned probably 250 acres. I think I remember. Um, couple couple cornfields, couple bean fields, and I was like spoiled rotten as a kid. Um, and I remember the first time I ever went deer hunting, I had my single shot Rossi 243, and the first thing that came out, shot a doe, and I was like, "Wow, this hunting thing's kind of cool, man. You only sit here for like 20 minutes, and the next thing you know, like I'm on my way to Waffle House." I was like, "I like this." Um, and then a couple years later, that friend of a friend had sold all the property, and so I started the public land grind probably when I want to say 17 or 18. Um,
yeah,
that was, especially being a younger kid, I was like, man, I don't want to deal with all these people. Um, but then once my buddy had purchased some property, it switched back to private real quick. So I was lucky. I got a little taste of the public land grind, and then once I started waterfowl hunting, I really understood public pressure.
yeah. I, that kind of took me by surprise. You say Waffle House? I didn't think y'all'd have Waffle House up there.
Yeah, they're few and far between, but we have a couple.
I think in Amarillo we have like five or
We have
six.
yeah. I was about to say we used to tear Waffle House up in our younger days.
Yeah. But so waterfowl hunting, y'all said, is it all public land for you, or do you do some private as well?
It has been all public for waterfowl hunting. Um, I lied. We do have spot for some goose hunting. But all of my duck hunting has been public land. I want to say, I think a lot of the homeowners, at least like that I've encountered, aren't very familiar with waterfowl hunting because this is not, the hot spot for it. So there have been times where I've knocked on a property owner's door and said, "Hey, I've seen some geese in your field, wondering if maybe we could, I could work for you a little bit, help you out if you need a hand, if you'd let me hunt the geese here." And I've had people say, "Hunt the geese? You want to shoot the geese?" And I was like, "Yeah, for sure, that would be great." And they're like, "Oh no, I'm all right." They've said, if you were like, "Hey, you want to come deer hunting, I would let you," but they're like, "I don't know how we feel about the shotguns shooting all the geese." So I've
Yeah,
had it where it's people just don't understand.
gotcha. Is the what's the I guess kind of I'm trying to think of the word. What kind of hunting is it? Land do y'all have for hunting? Is it like marshes, lakes, rivers? Kind of what's your general
Yeah,
area look like over there?
it's a little bit of everything. Mostly we're hunting marshes, or we have a lot of big like I don't I guess not levees, but they're like a flood watch reservoirs. They're man made. That a lot of those we can hunt as well. And then I have a couple spots on the river that I flock to once everything freezes. Um, I like having a ton of spots, but then also the way my brain is wired, I'm like, if I have too many spots, I don't know what to do. So I have like my designated spots to check for different times of the year, but yeah, mostly marshes. A lot of our goose hunting happens in dry fields. Couple cornfields we have permission on, um, but it's usually like a little bit of everything. No flooded timber. There's like a little kind of flooded woody hole. It's more like a puddle that the woodies will sit on sometimes. So no flooded timber, but for the most part, we get like a little bit of everything else, which is cool.
What do y'all mostly see over there, species wise, between ducks and geese?
So there's a couple spots where earlier in the season, if you see anything other than a wood duck, it would be a miracle. I call
Yeah.
that first week Woody Week because 99% of the time you shoot your 3 wood ducks before 8:30 in the morning. There's no point in staying any later after you shoot your 3 wood ducks because it's all woodies. Um, and then other than that, we shoot a lot of mallards, which I know is funny because in a lot of other parts of the country, people are like, "Oh man, my bonus mallard or whatever," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's kind of funny because the one redeeming thing that we have in Pennsylvania is we see a good bit of mallards." Um, and then once we get up north a little bit further into some much bigger bodies of water, um, just diver species galore.
Do you
Basically
hunt on the Great
every
Lakes ever?
diver. Yeah, yeah. So we do hunt Erie a couple of times, couple spots on there, running huge spreads. The weather's gnarly, winds in your face. You just can't help it. Sometimes it gets pretty hectic, but hunting the Great Lakes it's an adventure for sure. It's really cool.
Yeah. They is it pretty decent hunting there, or is it kind of hit or miss? Kind of got to hit a specific spot and specific times, or is it pretty decent hunting overall up there?
Yeah, I will say it's pretty decent overall. I will say that some of your bang up days are going to happen um, on when it's a crappy. I always say if it's a crappy driving day with the snow and ice and sleet and all that, it's going to be a great duck hunting day. And there have been some banger days up north of where I live when the weather gets crappy, bad driving day. Um, you can really kill them those days.
Yeah. Do y'all have a problem with freezing up there? Pretty bad.
Yes, yeah. Um, it's funny because sometimes we'll get a little cold snap earlier in the year, a little earlier than normal, where things will freeze up real quick, and then it'll end up being like 60 degrees 2 days later. Um, but yeah, once things freeze, there's some lakes that the only thing you can do there is ice fish for the rest of the year because it'll be frozen until you know March. Once it starts to freeze, so you gotta work around that too. I've had plenty of times where I pull up to a spot and I'm like, there's no way this can be frozen still. And I throw a decoy and it like slides on the ice like a hockey puck. And I'm like, well, I'm never getting that thing back.
Do y'all get cold enough for your rivers to freeze, or do y'all's rivers stay open pretty well?
Parts of the river will freeze for sure. Um, Parts of the river definitely freeze. There are some parts that will stay open, no matter what. Those are some of the spots that I try to really hone in on, especially like later on in the season when everything around me is frozen, all the food is covered in snow and sleet and everything else. Then I try to flock to those spots that are always open.
Gotcha. They turn in pretty decent. Rivers turn into pretty decent hunting area, I'm assuming, when everything freezes up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we have a couple river spots locked down. A boat would be more helpful. I don't have a boat. I just hunt out of my kayak a lot. So that would be
Yeah.
helpful to run some of the rivers a little better. But yeah, the rivers can get nasty. It gets fun.
So with the divers, do y'all hunt the layout boats like out in the lake, or do y'all hunt off the shoreline?
So I haven't hunted in a layout boat. I know a bunch of my buddies have had the chance to hunt out of the layout boats, which hopefully I can get to do that soon because it looks pretty killer. But for me personally, uh, my diver hunting has just been from the shore.
Okay.
You were saying you kayak hunt. Do you have a layout blind for your kayak, or do you just kind of get to your area and go park it?
Sometimes it's both. I have an Ascend H12 with the Cabela's Northern Flight Blind. Um,
Man, how do you like that?
I per- so when I first got it and used it, I didn't think it through, and I didn't keep my Ascend seat to paddle to my spot. I was just had like the layout back, and I was like on my
Yeah.
knees paddling, and I was like, there has to be an easier way. And I was like, well, you dummy, you can take the seat off, put your actual kayak seat on, and then get there. Um, but I like it a lot. I have had a little trouble kind of finding how much I want to tighten everything up to so that the doors, can either swing, or how tight I want the backrest for
Yeah.
for the layout, the seat. But overall I like it. I did trim the bottom of the blind, because not a lot, but a good bit of the blind was in the water, and that was really dragging me down. So I trimmed
Yeah.
it, and now before I get to my spot, I have my blind rolled up, and I bungee my blind all around, so it just looks like a rolled up sleeping bag all around. Um, and then I'll get to my spot, and then if I'm hunting from my kayak, I'll take the bungees off and let the blind in the grass sit down.
Okay. You don't hunt with a dog or anything?
I don't. Nope. I have a 65-pound English bulldog. She is not built for the water. That's for sure.
Yeah. I do kayak as well, but the way I do mine is I just have a Pelicans, and then I'll haul a jet sled behind me, and I just go use the kayak to get to my spot, and then I'll go park it a ways away, blind it up, or kind of blend it in, and then I sit. So I'd never done mine's not really built for something that you could really lay out hunt out of, but I've looked at
Mhm.
those Ascends, and my only thing is just I've always wondered how heavy, with them being quite a bit bigger and more heavy duty, those things seem like a lot.
It, yeah, dude, it's a pain. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love it, but I actually dread when I'm like, oh wow, I found birds in my kayak spot. So now I have to go get the Ascend out of the garage, load it up by myself. I think it's like 86 pounds, which doesn't sound terrible, but then it's 12 foot. I have a little Ford Ranger with a 5-foot bed, so I have a bed extender. It's like a whole process. So that is one thing that it's kind of a pain. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I drive an old 2010 RAV4, and I have J hooks on the top, and mine's
Oh,
only a 10-footer. It's not all that bad, but man, it's a lot getting it up there and everything. I was like, I'm ready to get something with a trailer
hmm
and a motor.
Oh
That's
yeah.
what. Oh, last weekend, my paddle out, I had a headwind, a head and crosswind, and it was just, I mean, if I even took a break, it just pushed me backwards. And I use that jet sled like a trailer behind me, and then I have my dog in between my legs in the front, and 65-pound lab. I was just sitting there. I was burning up in my shoulders, and I was just sitting there just gassed halfway
Yep.
across. I was like, I'm never gonna make it back.
Yeah. Dude, my dog getting a dog is definitely the next thing. I'm getting married this year, so get married, get my house, then I'll focus on a dog. Um, but there have been some
Well,
times where
congrats.
I'll float. Thank you very much. There were times where I'll float down the river, and my way into the spot, I'm like, wow, this was great, man. I didn't even have to put my paddle in. The river took me. And then on the way back, I'm like, dude, I'm like, I just want to suck it up and buy a motor.
Yeah. Yeah, I've sat there many a times, thought I'm gonna bring a drill and get one of those all threads, and something's better than nothing, but I just never have
Right.
done it.
Yeah.
But well, how'd your early goose season go this year?
So I would say, in terms of numbers, compared to a lot of other hunters in PA, numbers wouldn't be there. But I would say I had more fun than anybody during early goose season this year. Um, Opening day, we had only shot, I think, 4 geese between 5 of us. One flock did it nasty, and but I still I had the best time on opening day. And then a couple of weekends ago, um, my buddy Chase and my buddy Brian over at Migration Waterfowl, we had hunted this tiny creek for geese, and we shot 9 between the 3 of us. And again, that's we can shoot 8 a day each during early
Oh
season,
wow,
but we shot 9, and I was like, I had more fun shooting those 9 than some other days that I had. So in terms of numbers compared to some other people, not a ton of geese, but I always say I'm grateful just to be there. I'm blessed to have the chance to go. So I had a goose do it dirty, and I shot him, and I was like, I could just go home happy now, man. I shot one, he did it, he ate it up, and I was like, I can go home now.
yeah, that's awesome. And so, how long is y'all's early goose season?
It's almost a month. Um,
Oh
it's
wow,
always kind of almost, it's kind of weird that it opens up and then ends on a random weekday. But yeah, I want to say, yeah, I mean, a little over 3 weeks, like 24 days or something like that. 25 days is what the early season is.
yeah,
It's a good enough time to get out there and kind of scratch that itch a little bit of getting through the rest of the summer.
yes sir. So
That's what I wish Texas would have that because I drive it. Like where I'm at right now, I'm probably what 2 hours south of Detroit, give or take
it's yeah
two and
ish
a
three.
half, and we've been traveling from kind of by the Panhandle all the way down the middle of Texas, and surprisingly, there's been a lot of Canadas flying around here.
Oh,
And I'm just like,
nice.
man, I wish there was an early goose season because I've been out on this fire deployment, so I missed all of teal season. Because I left the weekend before it opened, and it closed today, so I missed all that. I was like, man, if there's a early goose, I'd just drive back up here to hunt that because we don't get to hunt till we go to Nebraska in November now.
Oh
You
wow.
don't.
Well, I don't know. We don't in Louisiana don't open up until when we're in Nebraska. So
Oh man.
Yeah,
So you got a
and
little
then
ways to wait.
y'all don't have an early teal season, do y'all?
We do not. We don't. Um, over in Ohio, they have an early teal season. Um, I haven't heard a ton of stuff. I wouldn't say it's pointless to have an early teal season on like the East Coast like this, but I have not heard a ton of people with. I haven't heard a ton of people say that they've shot a bunch of teal over this way. If some neighboring states have like an early teal season.
Yeah, yeah. This was my first year to get to actually hunt early teal, and it ended up not being too bad. This is my first year with the dog, so I wanted to hit it hard. And I mean, I have a Monday through Friday, so I only get to do weekends. But last week it wasn't bad. I got 3 total, and then man, yesterday you were my good luck charm. I hadn't been seeing anything, and then right as you text me, I shot a triple in one shot.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm glad I could help
So
out, man.
yeah, I mean, as soon as you text me, I looked down and they were right there, so I pulled up a shot, and that's what I sent you that picture. I was like, "You're my good luck charm."
Nice. Hopefully that
And
luck
so
carries through the season for all of us, man.
yeah.
yeah. Then I called him in the middle of his
Oh
hunting
yeah.
just to see how
He
he's doing.
flared off my birds. I forgot to silence my phone. I'm like, you know how to scare some birds. I had a big old flock of about 20 coming in. They flew late yesterday. I mean, I got 3 in one shot on my very first shot. And then I got another single, and then another single, and then I lost one. So
Oh, bummer.
I sit there and probably another hour past what I should have because I was like, man, just one more to limit, one more to limit.
Yep.
So it's always, and every time I'd stand up, I'd see right out in the distance, there'd be like 10, 15 over there about 200-300 yards away. And I'd sit there and hit the call and be like, I can bring them in. Yeah. So I spent a useless hour at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's funny. I do that too. You know, I'll be like, oh, I haven't seen a duck in an hour, but I'm like, but there's still a chance, you know? And
Oh yeah. That's what this last Sunday. And then this morning I go to our church starts at 10:15. And so I was like, I'm going to go out and go when I'm going to leave start packing up at 8. And both times I only got a single last Sunday and a single this morning and not seeing anything. And then all of a sudden, right as I'm packing up, I start seeing them like, can I stay just a little bit longer?
Right. It's like they know.
Yeah. But so you said you have a trip as well planned for South Dakota this year?
Yes. Yep.
So tell us about that.
It was kind of a shot in the dark. In the middle, I want to say June or July, I applied. I was like, oh, it's my first time applying for, you know, a South Dakota non-resident. You only get, I want to say like 3 days to hunt. And I was like, I'm not going to get picked, man, you know, but I was like, yeah, it's free or whatever, $3 or whatever. I was like, yeah, no biggie. And then I want to say August, I got the email from South Dakota that was like, hey, you got a license. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I got to figure this out quick, man. Yeah, so that should be cool. I'm not totally sure what exactly my plan's gonna be because I'm just e-scouting. I'm like constantly on Onyx, like, okay, this is public. This is the hotel that I'm staying in. This is like a reasonable drive. I'm just full on winging it, dude.
Yeah. Are you solo hunting or are you taking some buddies with you or anything?
So I'm actually solo. I had just applied for myself. And I'm solo hunting, but you know, since my dad was retired, I was like, hey man, you want to drive to South Dakota with me? And he was like, for what? And I was like, oh, you know, I got the license, whatever. And I was like, you know, you can't hunt, but if you want to come with me, drive through a couple states we've never been to. He was like, man, let's do it. So
Yeah.
I got the old man. I was like, I'll drive, I'll pay. You just roll with me. And he was like, yeah, you know what? I'll come with you. So he's always been that way though. It's funny when I was younger, sorry to get off topic, but
No, you're good.
when I was younger, he was always like, I just want you to, you know, shoot everything. And then now that I'm getting older and he's getting older, I'm like, dude, I take you out because I would rather see you shoot your four mallards in a day than me even pick up the gun. So I think it's kind of funny how that works. But yeah, he's a trooper. He was like, yeah, man, I've never been to South Dakota. And I was like, yeah,
What
we're just gonna go.
what area are you going to? Do you have like are you just kind of going in the middle and spreading out?
So I forget technically what zone, like there's like number letters. I want to say it's like 0086 or something, like northeast corner of South Dakota. So I'm actually going to be staying in, I think it's Watertown or Waterton, South Dakota. It's about 16 hours from my house.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so gonna go there, stay there, got a hotel and gonna go from there, hopefully get in enough time to not have to scout hunt my first day there.
Hmm.
So, but like I said, I'm totally winging it. If I go out there and I shoot 0 birds, I will still be 100% satisfied with just doing it, you know? I feel like I've never, not never, but I feel like when I was younger, I would never have been like, oh, I'm just gonna go and be like, if I don't shoot birds, whatever. But now I'm like, I'm just happy to be there. So if I don't shoot any
Yeah.
birds, I don't shoot any birds. But I'm gonna give it for a couple of days.
Well, good. So did you get to kind of pick your days when you got your license draw, or did they say, hey, these are the days that you get to hunt?
Yeah, so you are able to pick your days. For me though, it said if you don't know what days you want to hunt, you just choose. I forget, it was like the end of the season or like whatever it was, and they'll assign you days. So I got
Hmm.
assigned luckily a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh yeah, that worked out
So
good for you.
yeah, so I can hunt Saturday and Sunday. So that kind of it worked out for me.
Yeah. So you've never been to North South Dakota? You said.
Nope, I've never been further west than Missouri, which really isn't far west, obviously. So I've never been further west than that. So I think I'll get to check off Wisconsin, Minnesota, drive through Iowa a bit, I think, and then South Dakota off my list of states.
That'll be cool. Be a nice little road trip. Y'all gonna take it all in one stab, or are you gonna do a 2-dayer for the driving?
Yeah, because I really won't get to take any time off work. We're just gonna alternate, drive straight through, and get that done. That part will suck. I've already accepted that I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah.
All in one go. But like I said, I don't get too much time off of work during the year, so just making the most of it.
Yes, sir. So what kind of area, like, are you going to be hunting? Is it going to be like dry land? You doing some rivers, marshes, lakes? Kind of what are you looking at so far with your e-scouting? Kind of what's your game plan, I guess?
I've just been looking at, first of all, whether if it's public or private, and then once I find out that it's public, I've just been checking. It's like a lot of lakes, a lot of little potholes in fields. I had talked to like a friend of a friend that's up there, and he said that as of right now, they've gotten a good bit of rain. So he was like, "You'll be surprised that there will be some, public fields, and you'll get there and they'll have about 10 inches of water." So um, I know that not all of that will show up on X. So I'm looking for lakes and marshes and all that good stuff. But I might encounter like even a little bit of sheet water too. So
Have you turned on that recent water?
I have not. I've never heard of the recent water. I hit the recent imagery sometimes.
So this is it's under your map layers.
Okay.
I think it may be I don't know if you have elite or if you just have the regular paid, but it might be an elite only. I don't know, but it's surprisingly accurate.
Oh shoot! I'm gonna check this out. I'm just making a note of it now.
Yeah, yeah, because so where I hunt at, in the Panhandle, like it's flat as can be, and there's no like permanent water. I mean, there's only one natural lake in the whole state of Texas. Everything else is man-made.
Oh wow!
But up here in the Panhandle, we have playa lakes, which are get up to like maybe 3 foot deep at most, and there's thousands of them when we get rain. But I've been using that a lot to
Nice.
kind of look at stuff because where it's been traditionally dry since I've been a kid, over the last couple of years, we've actually had some decent rain, and that recent water, you kind of got to zoom in a little more than I'd like to on some of them, but it's actually pretty accurate, and it'll show you where like standing water looks like it's going to be. It won't show it on the actual image, but it'll show that looks like little blue dots with grass looking deals on them.
Oh
And
yeah.
it'll show you like standing water kind of deal. And it's actually pretty accurate,
Oh,
like
sweet.
surprisingly.
Well, thank you for
So
that.
you might look into that.
That's a game changer, man. Thank you.
Yeah, you might
So,
look into that.
are you hunting WMAs over there as public land?
Yeah, yeah. So that'll be the WMAs. I've been doing some more research on we call it public access hunting here in Pennsylvania, where landowners pair up with the game commission, and then it doesn't show up
Yeah, we have a
as oh okay, yeah, it doesn't show up on the website as a game lands. That's what we call them here, game lands.
Okay.
But they have a separate map that has like the public access hunting. So I've been using that as well. Because with so much farmland out there and crops and stuff, there's
Yeah.
so many farmers that are enrolled in that program, and that's opening up a whole nother can of worms.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know about sort of North or South Dakota. We go to Nebraska. The other day I got on their website and looked up, and their WMAs, like the feds put how much water they have in their WMAs
Oh wow.
to tell you if it's a good spot or a bad spot, if it has decent water. So that might be something cool to help you out too. Because I got on, We have a group on X, like we share our pins, and I got on there the other day. We weren't busy, and I was able to go and color code what WMAs had good water and which ones didn't
Oh, nice.
that we were looking at.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out too. I haven't done a ton on like South Dakota's website, other than like my license and stuff to make sure that I was legal first. But yeah, I'll have to
Yeah.
make a note of that too. I'll have to. I appreciate the input for sure because I'll have to probably do more than just Onyx to get a spot dialed down.
Yeah. Yeah, that like I say in that little recent water deal on there, it's under your hunt layers for your when you go to the state and then do your layers, and
Mhm.
it's like I said, for me down here, it's surprisingly accurate because we have a ton of playa lakes, and it's showing which ones are full and which ones aren't.
Oh,
So
sweet. Yeah, man, I'll check it out.
I
Thank you
mean,
guys.
yeah. So how going back to your goose hunt the other day, I saw you had some run-in with some fishermen. How did that go? I wanted to get
Uh,
your input on that.
yeah, man. I had hunted with a buddy of mine. We've hunted this lake before. We usually try to stick to a marshy side of it, and that didn't work that morning. So we're like, ah, you know what? We're just gonna hunt the big lake and threw out our goose decoys. And I'd seen a couple boats probably like 200-300 yards away. Um, so I was like, you know what? If some birds come, I don't think they're close enough to, you know, to have any say in if the birds are gonna drop in or not. But this guy, he was getting kind of close, and I looked and I was like, yeah, he is getting a little closer. So I had just gone out and just waved, and he just kind of looked at me and kept casting. And I was like, well, he saw me. So then, in typical younger millennial fashion, I pulled out my phone and started picking him. And I was like, look at this goofball. And he was like, oh, did I pull in close enough so that you could get a good photo of me? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, I'm not a tough guy by any means, but I was like, yeah, man. I was like, a little closer. I was like, would have been a little better, And he was like, I have $10,000 worth of fishing gear. He's like, I'm going to fish wherever I want. And I was just like, hey, man, again, not a tough guy, but I was like, if some geese come over and you hear shotgun shots, like, don't, flip out of your kayak and come at me if some geese fly by. Um, I wasn't sure if that would have been considered hunter harassment. Some guys on the internet were like DMing me, mad at me. They're like, you goofball, that's hunter harassment. I was like, dude, I'm sorry. I didn't know. Like, my bad. But yeah, so I guess technically I could have called the game warden. Not sure how that would have went, but
Yeah, that's one of those deals that probably by the time they got there and got it sorted out, your hunt's ruined at that point anyways. So, yeah, that's one drawback up here is, there's not many waterfowl hunters, but man, there's even less waterfowl hunting areas, so we always end up all at the same spot.
Mhm.
And
It never fails.
and someone's always right on top of me.
I
And
mean,
like the other day,
last year, me and Troy were hunting. I mean, we hunted that lake for 3 days straight, and we were like, "Oh, this is our last hunt. Like, let's make it something good." And I mean, we had birds pouring into it right before sunlight, and then there's two kids come out and flashlights and scare everything up.
ah, I hate. Oh man, that's pretty typical for Pennsylvania on opening day.
yeah. Well, this morning I got in early this morning, went to same place I went last Sunday. I was like, man, I don't this isn't particularly where I want to go, but it's a shorter paddle. I don't have a ton of time. I'm only going to have maybe an hour of actual hunting light. And so I was like, I'm going to go to this spot. It's easy to get to. It's easy to get out of. And it's shallow water like I wanted. So I got in there real early this morning. And I don't know, like 45 minutes after I'm done set up having my coffee, just sitting down scrolling on my phone, the some guys, I hear their decoys clacking together, that plastic clacking, and I can hear them going through the brush. I was like, hey, flash my light. I was like, just letting y'all know I'm over here. And they never would talk back. And then I could hear them throwing out some decoys. I'm like, are y'all setting up right here next to me? And then they never would answer. And I was like, just letting y'all know, y'all can y'all can come join. I'm only shooting for 45 minutes, maybe an hour. And then, if y'all want to come sit here, this is a great spot, but please do not set up 45 yards from me. And it's like they were trying to hide because, I saw them like way off in the distance coming over the canyon, walking in. So I was like, I want them to have a decent spot because I know they walked a long ways to get there because they didn't come in by boat or kayak. So I was like, y'all aren't doing anything illegal. Just answer me. They never would talk. And then I'd hear them hit their little call and everything. I'm like, y'all are right there. I just can't see you. They're behind some cattails. So when I was like, man, just, y'all can come hunt this spot. Just, I'm going to leave. And this is a really good spot for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Just people get weird on public land.
Yeah. Last year, opening day, my two buddies and I, we were like, you know what? We want to get this spot. So we went to the parking area overnight. We got there at about 10 p.m. We cranked up some food, some music. We just kind of like hung out, in the parking lot to this game land spot. And a couple of guys had come about 2, 3 in the morning. We were like, oh yeah, we've been here since 10 p.m. We're hunting this side. They're like, hey, great, we'll hunt this side. And then, never fails, 10 minutes to shooting time. These guys came in and we heard decoys hit the water. And so we flashed the light. They just kept throwing stuff out. And then my buddy had a spotlight. He spotlights on their decoy spread. And we're like, hey, whatever. Still don't care. And then first light, some woodies come fly by. They're shooting at wood ducks 70 yards in the air. After about 30 minutes, they end up moving closer to us. It was just a train wreck, man. So when you were saying that, I was like, and there was only 3 of us, 2 of them, same kind of thing. Like if they were like, hey, we're going to hunt this side, I'd be like, great, come join us. It'd be rather, 5 of us on the same team than 2 groups of us competing for the same birds 60 yards apart. Just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Oh, that's what our other buddy, he's down around Houston, Texas, and he yesterday had someone come set up like 10 minutes before shooting light, like what'd you say, like 40, 50 yards from him?
Yeah.
I mean, he sent us a Snapchat video and you could see their decoys, their boat, everything on there. So, they were close. He got skunked.
And like I said, kind of, it just ruins it for everybody. I'm one of those people that, not like I'm going to be like giving my spots away or, pins or whatever. But if I run into somebody and, they're like, hey, there's 1 or 2 of us and there's just a couple of us. I've always been one to say like, we can just combine forces because there's no point in us setting up 150 yards apart, hollering at the same birds. Sometimes bouncing birds back and forth can help. I'm like, we could all just set up together, put all of our decoys together, put all of our calls together, and, it might work out for us a little better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, everyone gets strange on public. Like they acted like I thought they were doing something illegal. It's like, no, I want to hunt by myself, but I also don't want y'all hunting right next to me, and I'm not going to be here long. So
right, absolutely.
But man, I was like, I can see y'all, I can hear you, like.
At least answer.
The few times I saw them, like with my spotlight, I have that one of those telescoping spotlights that go from flood to telescope, and like they were throwing out decoys, and I was looking for them. I was like, I can't find them. And then the few times that I saw them, I'd like shine the light right on them. They'd kind of like duck down. I was like, it's public land,
right?
So
that's funny, man.
Well, for like regular duck season up around your stomping grounds, you got any big plans for this year? Anything big and exciting?
Nothing too crazy. I'm just gonna be hunting as much as I can. I'm a weekend warrior, so 99% of my hunts will just be on Saturdays only.
Yeah.
So doing that, it kind of stinks where I'm located. The closest spot to me is about 45, 50 minutes away. So lots of driving. Trying to hit the local spots hard until I make, a couple of my trips. Usually in January, my dad and I will roll out to like the Finger Lakes region of New York. They get some crazy, crazy diver hunts up there. So we'll do that. But other than that in South Dakota, it'll just be around town, hoping to get on them, man. Like I said, sometimes the birds can be uh here and there. We don't get too many times where we'll get a flock of birds, bust them up, and then get more flocks of birds. Sometimes in a hunt, it might be one flock of birds will do it, and then that's it all day. So it'll be slim pickings usually.
Yeah. Well, good deal. Well, Blake, did you have any other questions for the moment?
No. I mean, I figured you were about to talk to him about his blind bag stuff. I was about to ask you what ammo you shooting this year.
Yeah, so this year I have been shooting Flight Day ammunition. That's Ben Meyer's company. I had checked it out through Brian, Migration Waterfowl, and I was doing a little research, listening to Jimmy Muller talk about his chokes with specific ammo, like the heavier payload, slower velocity. I'm no physics guy. I'm a teacher by trade, but I do not teach physics. And I was like, that actually kind of makes sense what he's talking about, and pattern distribution and things like that. I was like, you know what, I'll give it a shot. So I am running Flight Day ammo, and I have the Muller decoy and passing chokes.
Okay.
I've never been the type to swap out chokes. Usually I just like put one choke in and I run that for everything. But I think I might explore a little bit with, like tighter hunting holes, hunting with the decoy choke, going over to like the big water, using the passing choke, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what shells have you been shooting with your geese and stuff? Because that's what me and Troy are shooting Flight Day this year too.
Oh,
We
nice.
bought a case of it just by listening to Migration Waterfowl and the freelance duck hunting and all that. We've kind of just we shot Rio last year, and that's kind of what Jimmy talked about shooting Rio because it's slower, and there's only one place we can find it, and it was hard to find and get a hold of, but we did, and we liked it. And then they started talking about the Flight Days, so we jumped on board. So what shells are you shooting right now? What do you use for geese and then your big duck?
Yeah. For early goose, I used the 12 gauge 3-inch number 3s and number 4s. I know that some people are a little wary of shooting the big honkers with anything less than sometimes like 2-shot. But I, again, like listening to Jimmy talk about the more pellets in your payload and stuff like that. The 3s and 4s did a fantastic job. I do shoot my 20 gauge a lot too. I haven't shot it as much. But I also have 3s and 4s for the 20 gauge. And then I have a couple of boxes of 6s as well. I've heard a lot of good things about the 6s.
6s are what I use for teal, and I've had good luck with it this last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I've heard a bunch of people say like dropping down to the 6s has been great. So I want to get out and pattern everything before the season starts. But yeah, I do have 6s as well. So 3s, 4s.
Yeah, and I'm running the Muller decoy is what
Oh,
I'm running.
nice. Yeah, I think in years past I haven't been I know a lot of guys like to get really tight with the choke. I feel like I almost like a little bit of the forgiveness of a more open pattern. But yeah, the decoy choke with the 3s and 4s right now has been money.
Oh, good. Glad
How
to hear
far out
that.
are you shooting your geese with using a decoy choke?
So I would say probably 45 yards was like the total max. I wouldn't feel comfortable with any more than that. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of using like a more open choke with 4 geese. But the spots that we were hunting were a little bit tighter. So I really wasn't going to even like physically be able to take a shot further than that anyway. I
Yeah.
think probably like I know they say the sweet spot is 35, but people have been saying that they've been killing birds out to like 45. I'd say the couple that I shot 2 weekends ago, 40, 45 yards probably.
Wow,
Good.
that's good.
Well, yeah, that'll be a good little transition. Like Blake was saying, kind of take us through your blind bag, your hunting bag that you take with you. Like I said, you don't have to go through every little detail, but just kind of, overview what all you carry on a day-to-day basis for hunts.
Yeah. So I have the Yeti Panga 28 backpack floats, waterproof. I like that. And then I bought the sidekick for like the clips on their Velcros on the front. I keep like my wallet, my keys, all that kind of stuff. I hate, I don't know, I'm kind of weird about like my keys, my wallet, everything being like in that big blind bag with my ammo and stuff. So I keep it on the sidekick. Inside the bag too, I have my call lanyard. These are the calls that I'm running this year. I got this lanyard custom from a guy named Jaden Arnold. He made it. He's from TikTok. Running a couple different calls, cut down. I have a J frame to get softer with them. My 6-in-1 whistle, and then my goose call. Another thing that I really like is I just have this little Amazon carry bag, like a little box, hard-sided box for my camera. So like my GoPro, my shot cam, I just keep in here. And it's pretty small, so that fits in there well. I have the shoddy gear pouches. I had the just regular, cardboard ammo boxes for a long time. And then a couple of years ago, found the shoddy gear ones. They were pretty cheap, and they have like the little strap that I would hang on my timber strap. So I've been trying to get more of those and labeling them. So it'll say, like 20 gauge number 4s, so that I kind of, take the guesswork out of that.
Yeah, that's what I did. I got about 3 different ones that I'll label mine that way I know what I'm shooting.
Right. Yeah, because luckily, with the flight day ammo, and I do shoot some Kent fast steel too. But with the flight day ammo, it says what's on there. Like last season when I was shooting Migras, they worked well and everything. I was killing birds with them, but sometimes I'd have like the 2 and 4 stack or the 1 and 3 stack, and I'd get them mixed up on accident. So then I was just shooting random stuff because I didn't have the bags labeled. Yeah.
I color coded my bags.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got the black one, and then I've got the green one, and so that black one I kind of designate as like my teal, and then the green one, the bigger bag, is like my big duck bag.
Oh yeah, see, that's a good call. That's been trying to be a little more organized.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I have like the dive bomb timber strap. I know that every company has a timber strap. We don't use that too often. Like I said, there's only really one woody hole that I hunt. Then I have a Swiss Tech, like rechargeable headlamp. I like the rechargeable one because I've had plenty of times where my batteries run out and I'm going with the iPhone flashlight, and it's not that doesn't work well. I always wear these, just like the cheap redhead deerskin gloves for like setting up, and I don't really shoot with gloves, but I go through like almost a pair of these every year. They just like, I wear them so much and pulling the jet sled, and they just like rip up, but I always wear these. And then I always have my carabiner with my decoy gloves. I just keep that on top of my backpack. A couple years ago I didn't, and they flew out of my truck bed. So now they are clipped onto the bag. I'm not losing those jokers again. So that's like the bare minimum. Sometimes colder, I'll throw hand warmers and electronic hand warmers in there. But for this early season, I just, try to pack as light as possible.
Yeah. I'm a pack rat on everything.
Me too.
I take way too much stuff.
I'm horrible. I have the I can't remember the brand. I have my blind bag.
Rig'em, right, isn't it?
No, it's a layout blind that I have. It's the same company. Anyways, this thing it's called the Volt. is the name of the bag, and everyone gets, all the guys just talk smack about it, like, oh, you bring the whole kitchen and the sink with you. I'm like, yeah, but we don't go without. So
Right. That's right. Tell them.
So, are you a big like snack person or anything like that in the blind?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. 9 times out of 10, my gun will not be ready, but I will have Pop-Tarts. I will make a little sausage biscuit, keep it in the tin foil in the in my bag. Sometimes last year when my cameras were out of here, I would have my electronic hand warmers with my breakfast in here still.
Oh
I
yeah.
took the cameras out, and then I would have hot breakfast, and all the guys are like, "What's that?" I'm like, "I have a sausage, egg, and cheese in here and stuff." I'm a big snacker. I will have all the snacks. I'm eating candy. I have everything.
Yeah. I always sit there and pack like 2 or 3 drinks, a bottle of water, snacks, and then I just end up getting there. I'm like, I just never get it out. And then when my drive home, I'm like, oh yeah, I've got me a bubbly and a cupcake,
Oh
something
heck
like
yeah!
that. It's always for the drive home.
Right.
I almost never eat in the blind, it seems like. And like when Blake had his boat, I'd always cook. And
Oh, nice.
it seemed like half the time I never ate. I don't know, I'm just weird about it.
No,
But
that's cool though.
what
Cooking.
GoPros are you running?
I have the GoPro. I have the 13. I actually got a little Amazon deal. So that ended up being like pretty inexpensive. And then I have the Gen 3 shot cam. I bought that off eBay actually used. I got a really good deal. It's still like new in the box and everything. Um, but those are the two that I'm running. And then a lot of times I just have my phone, um, and I have a tripod. I don't know if I have it up here. I have a painted arrow. Um, they have mostly like the whitetail hunting stuff,
Mhm.
like the magnets and stuff. But I have one of their clips. So I have like the little magnet on here. I just keep on my
oh
phone
yeah.
case, and I clipped that actually to a tripod. So a lot of my footage too is just from my iPhone too.
Wow.
I tried the other day. I'm wearing my just neoprenes for early teal since it's still 80 degrees out, and I'd kind of propped it up in a little Velcro chest pocket, and
Nice.
because last weekend and one was sitting in my decoys right before shooting light. I was like, he's gonna stay, he's gonna stay, he's gonna stay. So I turned it on film. I was like, I'm gonna try this. Put it on, and everything's good. You see me stand up, and I sit there and kind of get him to light up. And so I'm not water swatting him. And as soon as I get ready to shoot, it just goes bloop. It's just
Oh
black. And I was like, oh man. I was
yeah.
like, it was great up until the action part.
Yup. Yeah, dude. I'm slowly learning that I'm not very good at self filming. There was a dove
Yeah.
hunt earlier in the year. It was like a slow dove hunt. So I shot one pigeon and one dove. And both times I shot something, I turned my GoPro off thinking I was turning it on. So I was like, "Oh, dude," I was like, "I got that one on film." And then I was like, "I didn't." So I'm
Yeah.
learning quick.
You like your shot cam though?
I do. I will say I'm not issues, but you gotta like tap to keep it on standby mode,
Mhm.
tap in the fore end of my gun. I feel like sometimes I'm like smacking that sucker and it still doesn't turn on until after my first shot. There have been times where I'm like, okay, that was perfect. Like I definitely got that on film. And then I didn't. So that would be my only complaint. I was thinking about maybe keeping it on like the full, just like regular mode. You can get a little over two
Yeah.
hours out of it just for that first, even if it was like the first 30 minutes of shooting time, when usually things get busy, just keeping it to let it run so that I don't miss anything.
Yeah.
See, I had one and I sent mine back for that reason. I got tired of missing so much video of it not doing anything. And so I was like, I spent a lot of money on this. I'm just gonna send it back.
Yeah. There's a post that I put up on Instagram, and it was like the front facing of my phone. You can see me hit my shotgun probably 10 times. And like, they say it's supposed to run for 10 seconds or whatever. You can see me hit my shotgun like 10 times, both ends. And I pull up and shoot, and then nothing happened. You know?
Yep.
Yeah, and they're kind of, unfortunately, they're about the only big one in the game, I think, because I've looked at some other ones to see, because I was like, man, 4, 5, $600 is a lot of money to drop. Like my gun doesn't even cost that much.
Right.
But yeah, I've looked, and there's nothing else, like no real competitors for them that are,
Mhm.
waterproof, durable, stuff like that, and actually shooting some HD video.
Yeah, and that's
So
I will say that the quality's great. So for every hunt, usually maybe only getting 1 clip or 2 clips, I'm like, "Dang, it does look good." It's easy to process on my phone, so I'm like, "Ah, crap."
yeah, well, good. Well, Blake, you got any other questions?
No, I don't. Just
Okay. Well, kind of tell everyone where they can find you. Plug all your socials and whatever else you want to let everyone know real quick.
Sure. Yeah, I can be found on Instagram and TikTok at the Great Palmbino, little nickname on my last name. Um, I try my best to post 2, 3 times a day on TikTok, couple posts a week on Instagram. Things have been going cool, so that's where you can find me. You will not find me in a local Facebook group burning spots or complaining about other people. I'm not that guy. You'll just find me hooting and hollering on TikTok and Instagram.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I really appreciate you coming on today. This has been fun talking to you, and I'll make sure and keep up with you, see how your season goes. Be excited to hear how your North Dakota trip goes. Or
Yeah,
sorry, South
absolutely.
Dakota.
Yeah, thank you guys so
So
much for having me on, man. Letting me talk a lot. I'm a yapper, so I appreciate it.
no shortage of that around here. So, but well, again, thank you for coming on. Thank y'all for tuning in for another episode of Wingin It Waterfowl podcast. Y'all tune in next week, and thanks for coming back.